Hi, it's Andy. I just thought I'd take this little opportunity while I'm in the workshop, just catching up on a few things, just to talk about our two cats, or the wife's two cats. They share the workshop with me, this space, and with weather like what we got on outside at the moment, they're in here. And you would have seen them in my videos just walking around the garden doing things. They pop in and out of shot, focus, and indeed have followed me up the road on one of my excursions in the videos. But yeah, I thought I'd just let you have a quick little look at them, and we'll have a little chat about them, and I'll explain why, what, how, when and where basically with these two cats. Right then, I suppose starting from the beginning, this is where they actually live, and it is the front part of my workshop, which then leads into the main workshop itself. It's got a small little old toilet that's attached to it, but yeah, this is where they actually live, and there's their food bowls and an old shoe that they chew on. But getting back to the fact of why the cats are in here, the fact the cats are in here is quite simply because of where we live and what that means to these cats and to us. Now that's Casper in there. I'll get him out in a minute, but he's just cleaning himself, and he's in underneath there nice and warm and snuggling up. He's out of the weather and he's loving where he's to, and he usually goes to the highest one. He is the biggest, most dominant cat. And this is Tommy. He's a fluffy one. He's here on top the tumble dryer, which he loves when it's going. He doesn't like the actual motion, but he likes the heat that comes off it. And yeah, his little basket lives on top. Right then, I suppose I better start and explain why they're in here, because some people would say, you know, cats should be indoors. Well, I'll answer that quite swiftly. Our cats don't follow, shall we say, the domesticated rules, and on top of that, they are in no way, shape or form going to comply. Now, what I mean by that is, both our cats, no matter how much you feed them, whatever you do, they hunt. It's something that we've kind of tried to stop. Like I say, when they've brought back any of their prey animals when they've been alive, we've tried to rescue, tried to take off, to try and break that cycle, you know, so they don't actually continue it. Like, if they catch something, there's always that thought process, or trying to train them that they don't get the reward, if you want to call it that way, of playing and eating the animal in question. So yeah, what happens is, or did happen in the past, is that they would bring them through the cat flap into the kitchen, and then ultimately through the house, and you would have all manner of creatures that you can think of, even up to full grown male rabbits that would be half eaten on the kitchen floor or wherever. But the thing is, if that isn't bad enough, the cats would never be able to fully digest it, and quite often they'd regurgitate it through being sick, or bringing up parts of these animals all throughout the house. And you clean it up once, twice, three times, but when you've been doing it and you don't know how many times you've done it, you think to yourself, what can you do? Now, we live in the countryside, we can't stop these cats going out. Like I said, you can feed them all you want, and the best quality food, believe you me. The wife has spent a fortune trying to stop this through that method, and it has had no success. They are hunters, and obviously it doesn't stop. So we had to come up with a solution, and obviously my wife's in love with these cats. She doesn't want to get rid of them, and we've got a workshop here. Now I'll show you what I've done to enable them access in and out, but ultimately they now live in here, and we don't let them in the main property because of those reasons we've just alluded to. Now, once the door is shut, they're out of the wind, the rain, and it's, you know, warm, and on top of that, it's a fully wind and dry proof area, so they have security as well, as in nothing can get to them like foxes or anything. But I'll have a story about foxes and cat flaps that I'll stick on the end of this in a moment. But no, yeah. So they're in the dry and they're in a reasonable amount of warmth. Obviously, it's not as warm as what it would be in the house with heating, but these are cats and they've got heavy fur. And if it was farm cats, they would be left to their own devices to find somewhere to sleep in a hayrick. So these cats are more than catered for in the, shall we say, I will call it the looking after facility of having cats. That they are looked after in that regards. Right then, first thing I've got to say is these cats are free to roam as in what they want, when they want, and do come and go as they please. You know, these cats are, in all intents and purposes, their own masters. Now, as you can see, it's a two-way cat flap. It can open and close. The only thing we've got to watch is with our youngest son. He's fascinated watching them disappearing in and out, and he's inadvertently locked it in one direction. So if he's in the garden, we've just got to keep an eye on what he's doing near the cat flaps, or whether he's following them over to the cat flap. But anyway, they come in through here and they chew on this old sandal. I don't know why they like that. Anyway, they've got their food there. They both have a bowl each, and they've got water, although our cats do drink from a bird fountain, which provides us with a bit of amusement. But yeah, the wife gives them pouches, and I think they have 3 or 4 of these a day between the two of them, if not more. I'm not sure, because I don't actually you know, do that looking after from that department. She does that. It's her cats. But anyway, they're fed in here, so their food is secure. There's no rodents, nothing going to get at it, because obviously they're up there, eagle eyes, so nothing's going to get in here. But anyway, this is where they're fed, and from here they come in, feed, and then, as you can see, one of them's been making a bed in the straw now and again. But this is where they live, as I've just showed you. And they jump up here, and on days like today, they could quite easily spend the whole day. And that's Casper looking out there, and he's king of the pile. He sits on top of the fridge at the highest point. Tommy's quite happy there, because ultimately he's the one that spends the less time in the shed now, because he's the youngest one, and he will be out hunting and doing whatever he's got to do. Like I say, he's a lot younger. Casper's an old cat, so he does like to be in here a lot more, and he sleeps a little bit more. So he's here where the food is, and then basically he goes to sleep. But he is the biggest one, and he still brings back big fully grown rabbits, so that's always something we've got to deal with him. Tommy, though, he's a different case. It is usually smaller birds and rodents he deals with or brings back, but it's not all the time. But you have to be aware if you see him coming down the path and he's got something in his mouth, to get out there quick to try and rescue it. Right, why don't I let them into this part of the actual workshop. As you can see at the minute, I'm just getting some sticks, some lanyards on my sticks while I'm putting this video together. It's because I've got basically a lot of, shall we say, wild camping stuff, car camping stuff, clothing, coats, lots of stuff I use for me being out and about. And I don't want them bringing back anything they've been in, because sometimes you have to de-tick them because they're in the hedges and in the undergrowth. So I don't want them bringing that into this part. And they pretty much know that now. So, you know, if the door's open, they see me in there, they'll stick their head in, meow, which either means they want food or they actually want you to come in, put new water. There's usually a reason for it. or they've knocked one of their beds off and they want you to put it back up. Collars with bells and things like that, and all manner of contraptions to try to stop them hunting or alert the prey. It's been something that we've considered. But we have found one of our cats hung up in the hedge. So, by chance it was, we found it just up the road. And, ever since then there's been this sort of like paranoia about it. And to be honest with you, our cats live in a area, when I say it's rural, they are scampering in and out of narrow little gaps in the hedges, and as I said, getting hung up could become a death sentence to the cat in itself. That is something that some people, may say, keep them in as house cats. We can't do that. They are what they are, and I will always say to people who have cats, and they're in the country, they may be nice, but you have to understand they will hunt. We do feed wild birds here, as you might see, but I feed them in a manner where I know the cats can't get at them and can see them coming. That's the big thing. Everything I do is controlled and measured around these cats. Yeah, very occasionally they will take a rodent, which is always pleasing because you always associate cats with doing that particular job. And like you say, it's like they're earning their keep then. So that's one plus side to them. My wife loves these cats. They are her babies. She thinks the world of them. She would love them to be inside, and she very quickly forgets about the mess. But when they do come in, or she's come into the workshop and found a cat that's honked up something it's tried to eat of a wild nature, it quickly reinforces that they're better off in here. And to be fair, they've got a quieter, easier life. They don't have a lot of screaming and shouting from young kids, and indeed the wife's little dog inside, which tends to chase them all over the place. So they're better off here. And I've always stated this, a wild animal, which a cat almost is, is probably better off in these circumstances. Yeah, I do find it kind of gross when the wife goes through these cats and de-ticks them, but it's something that she does, and like you say, the cats are grateful for it. But these cats do get medically treated if there's anything that they need treating for. I can't think off the top of my head the last time they went, but we have gone to the vets, and if it's needed doing, it's needed doing. Now, I think, they get fleed and that as well. But I think this one, at some point in his life, did get run over. And that was a long, long time ago, my wife was saying. And this one had to receive a lot of medical care and treatment. When these cats expire, will we actually get some new ones? The verdict is out on that. I do know my wife and the two youngest, the boys, they're saying they want some. I'm yet to be convinced, but I seem to be easily overruled and persuaded, shall I say. So we'll have to wait and see on that. But this one here has definitely got years and years and years left in it. Like I said, this one's a very, very old cat now, and he's coming to the end of his years. So, like I said, he sleeps a lot, and but he will still bring back something. And he's still quite agile. Like I said, he can jump up from the floor onto the tumble dryer and then up there. And he kicks the other cat out if it ever does get in there. That's his bed. Obviously, me and the wife and the family are going abroad this year, and the same with every time we've gone abroad, we've had to arrange animal care. which basically consists of these cats being fed and watered and making sure that they're okay. But it's a small job really with the cats when where they're concerned. As you've just seen, they're pretty much independent and live an independent life. They just need some food and water and they go about their business. That, you know, is in conjunction with our chickens and any other pets that we got here. Obviously, you know, you do have the ultimate responsibility to look after them because they're dependent. So if we're not here, it has to be somebody else. So yet again, you know, having cats might not be like a dog, like you say, with a lot more physical needs, as in it's looking after. A cat still has a basic level of care. You have to provide it if you are going to be away for some period of time. And like I said, you know, that's always something we have to factor in when we go away as well. So there he is, Tommy. He's just gone for some food. He's quite a big cat. A lot of that is fur though. He's a very furry creature, and well, he's quite affectionate to the wife and the kids. Not so me. He doesn't seem like he's a bloke kind of cat, but cats do take to people in different ways, and I'm sure he you know, he kind of recognises me as the person that's around, but because the wife feeds him and does his basic needs, yeah, and has done since he was a small little kitten, he gravitates towards her. I'm just somebody who's basically kicking around his space. There's Casper. As you can see, he's got shorter hair, but he's quite a sizable cat. He's looking at his bowl, which is empty, and he's just licking it. So I'm going to get that pouch, which is up on top there, and give him some food. But you can see as a comparison the size. Now, they both get on, but they do squabble. And you can quite often at night hear like a squabbling noise outside. And it'll be these two. But I have had other cats come into this part of the shed, hence I lock my other part there so I don't get no incursions there. But these two will gang up and fight that particular cat both together. They're jostling heads to get in at that bowl of food. I have put a little bit in that one as well to try and split it down, but they're just focusing on that bowl there. And shall we say poor old Casper's going to have to wait his turn by looks of it, or is he going to try and push his way through? He'll get his turn and the wife will be out and give them another pouch later on in a few hours time. But like I said, my wife loves them to bits, so they're here to stay. Right, Casper's got his head in the trough. He's having a go at it. And Tommy's moved over now. So I'm going to leave them to it and get back into the workshop. I hope that gives a little bit of a brief outlay on our two cats, because like I said, they always seem to be floating around and they're popping in and out of the videos, either their tail or their meowing, or you see them walking across the picture frame as I'm videoing. But yeah, those are our two cats, and that gives you a rough idea where they live, how they live, and what it's all about with them. So if you see them in future videos, you've got a bit of an understanding how they are, shall we say, looked after. But yeah, this is Andy from Folklore Hiking Sticks. All the best. Yeah, those cats are in bed purring, but I just thought I'd tag on the end about this fox scenario and a cat flap. Well, basically, one night at about 3 in the morning, all hell broke loose in the house. Cats were going crazy. The dog was running around, going up and down, barking and going like hell. That obviously set the neighbours' dogs off. But anyway, I was reluctant to get out of bed, but in the end I got poked in the belly and told, go down and check out, see what's going on. Got downstairs, flipped the light on, and lo and behold, there was a fox head peering at me through the cat flap. Now, what was strange about this is that I'd actually come downstairs making a fair noise myself, put the hall light on, so that shone through to the kitchen. That didn't scare it off. Put the kitchen light on, walked into full view of it, and it was still there looking at me. And it didn't bat an eyelid at the dog, or cats, or myself. It was only when I approached it, as in got to within, I don't know, a few feet, it did pull its head back, and even then when it was doing that, it was kind of a half-hearted attempt, and then obviously went on its way. But I did make the mistake of putting our rubbish out the back door, and obviously I suffered the consequences of that, as the next morning I had the contents of our black bins ripped open and through the garden. So I didn't do that again, although I will lie, I did do it on several occasions, and I always said I will never do it. It's just that evening when it gets tired, it's late, you put it out the back door, you forget all about it, you forget what you should be doing with it, putting it in the bins out the front, and next morning you've got a mess to pick up, and it's taken me a long time to learn my lesson. So yeah, okay, I just thought I'd add that on the end. This is Andy from Folklore Hiking Sticks.